Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on Optimus Games, and today I want to talk about Modern Warfare 2. We are officially about a week into Modern Warfare 2's release. Here in about 10 hours as of me recording this audio, it'll be a week. So I wanted to take the opportunity to come on here and kind of revise my first talk about the game, kind of talk about some of the things that I think are good, some of the things I think are bad, and overall give kind of like my personal forecast for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Is it going to be good? Is it bad? Like, what's going on? Is it in a good state? What exactly is the issue that needs fixed? Well, let's go ahead and talk about these things. So obviously, I feel like I'm one of the people who have been a little more positive about this game, which is kind of a surprise because if you've watched like my long-term Call of Duty content, I typically have a somewhat negative perspective of Call of Duty a lot of the times. The more recent COD games I haven't been a fan of, but with Modern Warfare 2, that's kind of changed. I'm actually back to playing the game every day. I'm making content on this game again, something I never really did ever. So overall, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 any good? This is a question I've been asked a lot. A lot of you have asked me like, oh, is this game worth 70 bucks? Should I buy the game? What should I do? Well, first off, you might not even have to buy the game. I'm actually giving away 4 copies of Modern Warfare 2. There's more about that over on my Twitter at @SubToOptimus. So if you want to enter to win a copy for the Xbox or the PS, you can go ahead and go enter that giveaway. I'm giving away 2 copies for each, but should you buy this game, right? Like that's the question I've been asked a lot, is it worth it, right? Well, this is kind of like my 1 week review, right? And there's some things that are good about this game. There's definitely some things that are bad about this game, and I kind of want to paint the picture for you guys. So let's start with the bad, right? What are the things that immediately need to be fixed? First and foremost, legacy challenges and content like that. There's not really challenges in the game. There's like daily challenges. A lot of the challenges just aren't in the game. I mean, I don't get how that even happens, right? Pretty much every Call of Duty I can remember has launched with like the challenges and stuff to actually give you an incentive to play different modes and like do different things in the game. None of that in this game. Also, no combat record, no leaderboards. You can't see your KD. You can't see other people's KD. You can't see your own statistics to see what you're doing good, what you're doing bad. In my opinion, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't even understand how this happened. These are things that even in the most rushed Call of Duty games we've gotten in recent years, they've added these features. Like this, I feel like is copying and pasting code to make this work. Not sure how that slipped their mind. Not sure why that's not in, but that needs to be put in ASAP. And it can't be Season 1 content. I feel like that's the route they're gonna go. I feel like they launched this stuff with Season 1 and they're like, oh, Season 1 content, but no, this should not be Season 1 content. This should be launch content. Stuff that's in the game isn't in the game right now. Very frustrating, to be honest, because I'm one of those players, I like to look at my stats. I like to see what I'm doing. And frankly, you just can't do that right now. You're just not gonna get to that point. It's unfortunate. Another thing about this game that I want to talk about, the perk system. Now, I don't think this is something that's gonna get fixed, but not a fan of the new perks. I like the old 3 perk system where, you just picked your perk 1, perk 2, perk 3, played the game. Don't really see why we needed to go away from that. Wish they would switch it back or at least give you an option to switch it back. Just give people the option, man. If people want to play with this new system where you start off with your 2 perks and you earn the other 2 in the ultimate or whatever, mid-game, yada, 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 let them do that, bro. But like, for me personally, man, I just want to pick my 3 perks and play the game. And I feel like the majority of the COD community wants to pick their 3 perks and play the game. Another thing I want to talk about here, the UI in this game is absolutely garbage. Like, it's ridiculous how bad this Hulu looking stuff look. Dude, it just, nah, bro. They need to fix this. I don't care what anyone says, man. This UI is by far the worst Call of Duty UI of all time. It's not even close. I've never played a video game with a worse UI. I've barely used programs with a worse UI. This is one of the worst user interfaces we've ever seen ever for anything ever. And I mean that very wholeheartedly. I hate the UI in this game. It makes it confusing to get through the gunsmith. It makes it confusing to look for game modes that you want to play. Like the whole thing, just navigating where you want to go is just terrible. I don't know what they were thinking. This is a terrible UI. Please get it under control, Infinity Ward, or whoever, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's another thing that needs to get fixed. And another one of the things that I think are bad about this game in particular, I feel like the hit reg in this game is a little bad sometimes. Now, I'm gonna be honest, in every Call of Duty game, it feels like you're shooting marshmallows at some people, or it feels like you're shooting bullets straight through the guy or something like that. that. But in this game, man, I've noticed I have lost a lot of gunfights because of this reason in particular, and it's so goddamn annoying. But to be fair, like I said, this has happened in every Call of Duty game, and I feel like it'll probably happen in every COD that we ever get, ever. But on to some of the good things about this game that I actually really like. The maps, especially for being new content and not like rehashed old maps from old games. Actually, I don't hate the maps. That's a surprise. Like, that's one of my big gripes with Call of Duty every year is like the maps are not good. But in this game, I feel like the maps are so much better than they've been in like Vanguard, you know what I mean? Now, of course, you got like Santa Senya border crossing. That's one of the worst maps in COD history. I'm not a big fan of the, what is it, the Farak or like the Zarak map. The one where it's like in the desert and there's the buildings in the middle. Hate that map. Can't stand that one either. But other than that, all the other maps in the game are surprisingly playable. And I actually like a couple of these new maps like a good portion of the time. Like the hydroelectric map, I like that one. The water features are pretty cool. I like Farm 18. I think that's a pretty decent map. And the good thing about these maps is you already know that with some of these seasonal contents that are going to come later in the game, they're going to rehash old Modern Warfare maps from the past that have been awesome. And so we're going to have a great selection of maps to play in this game finally. One of my biggest things about the game that I like so far. Another thing is the weapons. This game, of course, it has its meta weapons, you know, your 74Us, your Scars, your M4s, your P90s, your Fenix, you know, these are the better guns in the game, but even the other guns that aren't necessarily in the meta actually feel usable and feel like you can genuinely run them and play with them. One of my big gripes with Call of Duty over the last few years is it feels like you can only really use one or two weapons if you want to play and have fun. Not really the case in this game. I've actually had fun grinding camos on all the guns. I'm getting platinum ARs today. The only gun I disliked a lot, M16. That is a terrible fucking gun. That gun sucks so bad. But even then, like, the guns are mostly usable and playable, and I think that's a really good thing for this game. I really like the gunplay in this game. I feel like the gunfights are really smooth. You know, getting kills is extremely satisfying. The only thing I wish they would do is bump the ADS time. Like, I feel like a lot of times I get trapped when I'm like running a corner or something. Like, I try to pull my gun up to get in a fucking gunfight with somebody, and it feels like your gun pulls up at the speed of like Gary the Snail, you know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to pull your AK up and shoot this fucking guy in front of you, and you would have thought that the AK weighed 6,000 pounds the way the guy pulls the gun up, right? I get they're trying to go for the realism, but if it was a little more arcadey in that standpoint, I feel like this game would be so much more fun, dude. Like, if the run and gun, that's my next point. I like the movement, I like the playstyle, I like the game, but if running and gunning in this game was a little bit more of a supported playstyle, I would feel so much better. Now, I'm glad that they fixed the stupid fucking, like, break your camera animations and the stuff that all these, you know, MLG Quickscope pros have been using for years to get kills, you know, the shit that's making all these streamers mad. I'm glad they fixed a lot of that, and I do like this more old school movement that's more traditional to Call of Duty, but I feel like the game punishes you for moving too much. Like, you're rewarded for camping in a way that you really shouldn't be, in my personal opinion, and I wish that they would kind of get that together. But overall, is this a good game? Is this one that I'm gonna play for 2 years? Is this one you would play for 2 years? It really depends on the person and what you're looking for, but me personally, I actually really like this COD so far. I've had a really good time on it, and all of my friends have had a really good time on it. All the people that I casually play the game with, we've all had a pretty goddamn good time. There's a lot of content here to enjoy. The gunfights are pretty cool. To me, the maps are pretty decent. The weapons are decent. Like, foundationally, right, this is a extremely solid Call of Duty game. If they tweaked like 5 or 6 things and rehauled a couple other things, in my opinion, this could be one of the best Call of Duty games we've gotten in well over a decade. Of course, this is my initial thoughts. Depending on how they kind of handle the game going forward, that's going to really affect the outcome of this. But overall, I think that this is a pretty decent Call of Duty game. I mean, I would give this like a 7.5, 8 out of 10 so far. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think I'm going to continue to have fun with it. The camo grind has been a very good time so far. It's actually kept me engaged in the game. There's going to be plenty of content coming in the next few months. I mean, just off the top of the head, DMZ mode, Warzone 2, we got raids coming in December, Season 1 starts in a few days. Ranked play is getting added to this game in 2023 with actually good ranked mode from what we've seen from Treyarch. It really looks like it's a solid Call of Duty game to start out with. I think that they can do a lot with this, and overall, I'm pretty happy with what we've got so far, so congratulations to all the teams that worked on this. You got the Optimus seal of approval, which I feel like with Call of Duty is a pretty hard thing to do. So with that being said though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about Call of Duty 1 week in and signing out.